All right, we're going to do a video analysis here on Ryan. This is his first analysis since joining the program. So let's take a look first at what we got. Leg lift down the mound. Kind of falling off right there. All right, we got a lot to unpack here. So let's take this from the start. All right away, this is what I like. Eyes on target. All right, comes up into leg lift. Good balance point right here. Looks like he's loading the back leg pretty well. All right, so you see that back leg right here. Boom, boom. Looks like it's nice and loaded. Again, eyes are on target. Looks like he's going in a straight line. All right, now as we continue, we're seeing the way he lands a little bit across his body, so that would be a straight line back. But we're seeing this go this way, okay? So it's causing the hips to be closed. Let's see how we continue. Hips then come through, so now we're in a position here where the hips are forward, but the foot's going this way. And then you're seeing a big fall off this way. Come up on the toe. And then momentum and energy are just taking you way towards third base. All right, let's take a look at the arm. Let's see what we got. So as we come through, it looks like you're just kind of slinging it, almost like a frisbee. Where you see when we get right here towards front foot strike, you definitely look like you're inside 90, pretty deep. All right, so you're here and here. All right, we want to get you a little bit more towards 90. And then you're coming around right here. This motion right here, if you take a look at the arm, this arm drag right here is definitely going to lead to elbow problems, especially as you add velocity. So we need to clean that up as well. Because you're so rotational up top, see how you come around your head and then sling it across? All that extra momentum, all that extra rotation after ball release is causing this. Right? So that's energy that's not going into the baseball. That's energy that's going anywhere else, which is causing you to be off balance, right? So let's see. This is what I want you to do. Ready? So we're in leg lift. Right here, the first movement I want is you to lead with the hip. It looks like you're already kind of doing that. A little tough on this angle, but you're dropping that back leg a little bit, so you're loading that back leg, and it looks like the hip is in a good spot. Right? It looks like we're kind of pointing that hip, that front hip, towards home plate. That's going to help us come down this hill. Gravity is going to help us. All right, now in this position, I want to tackle this one step at a time. The glove, right? You're immediately going into a tucked glove, right? So you're not getting any leverage from your glove. You're just lifting, pointing your elbow at your target, your right elbow, which is good, but there's no point and pull, which again is causing you to be really rotational here. So I definitely want you to clean up the glove side. That should be the easiest adjustment, depending on how long you've had this habit, of course, but you'll see that in the drills I give you. Okay, now, coming out of the glove. I know it's a little hard to see here because it's behind you based on the angle, but it doesn't look too bad. You'll see I teach drop to the pocket, pull with the elbow up to that good 90-degree angle. So that'll help get you out of this motion here, or this inside 90 that I'm seeing. The reason why inside 90, what I mean by 90, what I mean by 90 is we want a right angle, right? So again, right here, this is inside 90. 90 would be here. This would be outside 90. So guys are typically outside 90. You're obviously inside 90 here. Reason why that's bad is because, as you can see, you're more likely to drag your arm across and you lead with the elbow forward. So when you lead with the elbow forward, it's taking a brunt of the stress before you throw the ball. which is what can lead to some arm fatigue, some elbow issues eventually, especially, again, as you add velocity. Right? So that's going to be a big thing, is the arm path and cleaning up the front side. All right, so I'm going to give you the drills for that. Now, as we can see with the lower body, we ride that back hip really well. Like this position here looks pretty good. I would like this leg to be straighter instead of bent like you see here. I'm talking about the front leg. The back leg stays here, nice and loaded. Looks like you might have some mobility issues as well because you're not getting a super long stride, right? So when you get here, your back leg is still loaded and your front foot is starting to leak open. So that's going to cause your hips to leak open. So now, as you see, as we come into front foot strike, right here, this position looks really awkward, right? We're looking at your lower half right here. You're not getting a real big stride at all, and you just don't look strong in this position. So we're definitely going to have to open up your hip mobility. We're definitely going to have to do some medicine ball drills and rotation drills to get you loading and exploding through that back hip. And then the biggest thing, which is the foundation of all this, is we have to get you stronger. Because now you'll see here, when you hit front foot strike, you see that hip come through, and then see how this front leg is kind of collapsing and not really stabilizing. And then it doesn't help that you come up on your toe and everything's launching you this way, right? Again, producing decent amount of energy, just not utilizing it like you should be. So you want to be here. Leg lift, ride this front hip down as far as possible. The back leg turnover looks good, right? If you see this right here, where he's loaded, and then we see him turn that back hip, that's good, because the cause and effect of that is he turns the back hip, and that opens these hips, right? Opens the full hip. The problem is it can't fully open because you're landing closed. See right there, you're landing closed. If we draw a straight line here, right, you can see you're stepping this way. So these hips don't have enough room to open. Never mind the mobility issues, look at the mechanical issue, right? So when those hips do try to turn, you see this lead leg knee go this way. Boom. Now you're in this position where you're falling this way already, and your arm is in layback. And then as you launch forward, again, all the energy goes the way the arrows are going. So action steps for you, Brian, would be lead with the hip, keep that front leg closed. We're going to sit in that back leg as long as possible. Fire the hip, that back hip like you are here, if you see that. And then we're going to land straighter, right? Straight to the target. So the front of your toe should be in a straight line, not be here, right? I hope that makes sense. Hope that's pretty clear. Again, this is definitely a mixture of a lot of things, like it always is. Definitely a mobility thing. We got to open up these hips. Definitely a strength thing. We got to get you stronger, especially in that front leg, so you can really stabilize and stick it down the mound, so that way you can transfer that energy up. The back hip looks like you're using it really well. It's just everything else around it definitely needs improvement, but we always want to make the back hip faster as well. Always want to maximize our strengths. Front side, talking about the glove side, definitely needs to be cleaned up. Point and reach and pull in. It's going to help you at rotation as well. You'll see that in the drills I send you. And then the arm path. The arm path is going to be a lot more direct, a lot less to little to no elbow drag, right? I think you'll really be surprised how quickly you're going to progress when you clean up these major issues that are pretty simple fixes if you just follow the steps. So I'm really excited to see your next video, because I have a feeling when we watch this one in the near future, you're going to be pretty surprised once you really understand the intricacies as to what goes into this. So let's hit the ground running, my man. Let me know what you think. I'm happy to answer any questions, of course.